Hey everyone, so yeah, I see you. I know you're all looking at those red candles right now. Trust me, I've got the same charts open, and yes, the crypto market is looking pretty rough today. But here's the thing I need you to understand. History is on our side here, folks. When we look at the bigger picture, we're talking about going way higher than where we are right now, both for XRP and the entire crypto market. And I'm going to break down exactly why I'm still incredibly bullish on this. Plus, I've got some fantastic insights from top XRP chart analysts that I'm excited to share with you. And here's what's really interesting. Not a single one of them has changed their outlook because of this recent dip we've seen over the past couple of days. Why this dip doesn't worry me? Look, let's get real for a second. Crypto is the most volatile asset class on the planet. These moves, they're completely normal. I've been in this game since November 2017. That's almost 8 years of watching these wild swings up and down. And here's my track record. I've never cashed out to US dollars. Never sold a single XRP. I'm holding until we get close to the cycle peak, and trust me, there will be clear indicators when that time comes. When those signals flash, yeah, I'll absolutely take profits if the opportunity is right. But right now, this is definitely not that moment, even in the incredibly unlikely scenario that we're entering a bear market. You know what my strategy is? Simple. Hold and wait. Even if it takes several years for the market to rebound, I'm not going anywhere. But honestly, I don't think that's even remotely probable. Every single chart analyst I follow, and I'm talking zero exceptions here, they're all expecting something incredible. A massive alt season is coming. Perfect timing for what's ahead. You know what just hit me? Today's the last day of summer. Can you believe we're already heading into the fourth quarter in just about a week? Time flies when you're having fun in crypto, right? But here's the exciting part. Q4 is historically where the magic happens. This is when we typically see the market really start to pick up steam. Current market snapshot. So let's talk numbers. XRP is sitting at $2.83 with a 24-hour low of $2.76. Bitcoin's at $112,625, just slightly above its 24-hour low near $112,000. But here's what's fascinating, and this is something I've been diving deep into lately. The correlation that changes everything. I've been tracking something really interesting. The Russell 2000, that's small cap stocks, and Total 2, which shows the top 125 coins excluding Bitcoin, basically your altcoin barometer. The correlation between these is absolutely mind-blowing. And when you understand this connection, it completely changes how you view where we're headed next. What you're looking at right now. Take a look at your screen. See that light blue line? That's the Russell 2000. And that orange line? That's Total 2, your altcoins. The correlation is crystal clear, and this pattern goes all the way back to late 2021. In fact, we've never had an alt season without the Russell 2000 getting heavily bought at the same time. This is exactly why market breadth matters so much. Why this correlation exists. Here's the psychology behind it. When investors develop an appetite for risk assets, and let's be clear, both equities and crypto are risk assets, they move further out on the risk curve. Instead of just buying large cap stocks, they start buying small caps. Instead of just buying Bitcoin, they dive into altcoins like Ethereum, XRP, and everything else down the line. It's the same type of investor buying both asset classes. When you're in a risk-on mood and you're invested in both markets, you naturally allocate your money this way. That's exactly why we see this tight correlation. The game-changing event, Russell 2000's new all-time high. This is where it gets really exciting, folks. Last Thursday, the Russell 2000 hit a brand new all-time high. This is absolutely massive. Sure, we're seeing a bit of rejection from that level right now, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay rejected forever. And here's why this matters so much for your XRP holdings. If you want your XRP to be worth a fortune compared to where it is now, you want this Russell 2000 breakout to succeed, and history tells us it's going to happen. Chart analyst Dom's critical insight. Dom put this perfectly, and his analysis is absolutely crucial to understand. Here's what he said. Total 2 and RTY, that's the Russell 2000 ticker, both hit fresh all-time highs last week. Days later, crypto gets a strong kickback. This is how I look at it. Then he asks the million-dollar question, do we think the Russell 2000 is going to print a triple top right here after putting in a fresh all-time high after 4 years? And he's absolutely right about that timeline. It's been almost 4 years since the Russell 2000 had a closing day that was an all-time high. This just happened, and it's a huge deal. The logic that seals the deal. Dom continues, do we think an initial kickback is expected? If Russell 2000 expands past this level with the riskiest stocks, why wouldn't crypto follow? When haven't they? At this point in this bull cycle, why wouldn't risk on in stocks translate over? That's exactly how I'm viewing it too. This is what I'll be watching closely over the next couple of weeks because if this plays out the way history suggests it will. Why Dom and I are so confident. Obviously, Dom firmly believes the Russell 2000 is going to continue climbing, and altcoins are going to follow right along with it. This correlation isn't just going to magically disappear. I explained the psychology behind it just a few minutes ago. It's simply how humans behave. When you develop an appetite for risk-on assets, what do? You buy risk assets. That's exactly what you do. So yeah, we're seeing some short-term rejection from the Russell 2000 right now, but that doesn't mean it's never going up again. It's the same story with XRP. The XRP pattern that's still playing out. Think about this logically. Do you really think XRP hit that all-time high back in January, then consolidated for over half a year just to hit another all-time high at $3.65 in July, and that's it? Without even entering that face-melting phase? I don't think so, folks. That euphoric blow-off top phase is still coming. We just haven't reached that point at the end of the cycle yet. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not coming. It's almost certainly still ahead of us. The historical data that changes everything. Here's something I posted earlier this afternoon that should get you excited. If the Russell 2000 goes up and alts follow, XRP is absolutely in that mix. Because XRP has never gone on a face-melting rally without exactly these conditions being present. We don't just want this to happen, we need it to happen, and I believe it will. Here's the historical data that backs this up. After the Russell 2000 hits a new all-time high for the first time after a bear market, it's up 1 year later 91% of the time. And folks, this is based on data going back to 1979. The Russell 2000 hit a new all-time high just 4 days ago for the first time in nearly 4 years. History also tells us that when the Russell goes, alt season begins as well. XRP will be one of the greatest beneficiaries of this. The numbers don't lie. I pulled this data and you can see it clearly. In instances where the Russell 2000 hits a new all-time high after being away for over a year, 10 out of 11 times, 91%, has resulted in the Russell 2000 being higher 1 year later. Given that this just happened, what do you think the good betting odds are? I'd take that bet any day. A longer cycle than expected? Here's something fascinating that most people don't realize. While I've been assuming this cycle might peak sometime this year, there are some really smart analysts, Raoul Pal, Julian Brigden, TechDev, who are arguing this market cycle might not peak until the second quarter of 2026. Now, I'm not in the prediction game here, so I won't say whether they're right or wrong. It's definitely a minority opinion, but it's based on sound data. They could absolutely be correct. If that's the case, it's definitely not wild to think that a year from now, the Russell 2000 could be higher than it is right now. And if that happens, what do you think that means for altcoins like XRP? The next 12 months could be absolutely incredible. It could all happen tomorrow, in Q4 this year, or early 2026. I don't know the exact timing, but it's going to happen. That's a virtual certainty, and I have high conviction on that. The simple strategy that actually works. Here's the thing about crypto investing. The answer really is simple. Just hold. HODL life, as they say, control the parts you can control and let the rest go. Don't stress about what you can't control. You don't control whether we're in a bull or bear market. Just make peace with that. You don't control when it happens, but you either have exposure during those crucial moments or you don't. For me, the answer is buy, then do nothing, then get rich. It's been working for me for almost 8 years. What smart money is doing right now. Here's something interesting from on-chain analytics firm Sentiment. Since Bitcoin's all-time high 6 weeks ago, bullish traders have been frustrated by the lack of sustained price bounces. We take a look at the encouraging whale accumulation, declining Bitcoin on exchanges, and buy the dip enthusiasm. What happens when prices go down? The rich people take advantage of that. When there's fear in the market and we're not getting toppy, which we're certainly not right now, that's when whales buy. When whales stop buying, then take note, because eventually there will be a peak. But now is definitely not that moment, folks. Chart analysts are still bullish. Let me share what the top XRP analysts are saying, because not one of them has changed their outlook because of this recent dip. Chart analyst Mustache posted this morning as the market was dropping. Just another retest of the all-time high from December 2024. Nothing to worry about in my opinion. Don't focus on the short time frame, but on the long one. The stronger the support, the better. The best is yet ahead. This is completely normal. The leverage liquidation lesson. Here's why you don't play with fire. The biggest long liquidation of the entire year just happened. 24-hour longs liquidated $1.62 billion with a B. Stop using leverage. You can get thousands of percentage point gains just by holding XRP for a sufficient amount of time. Why would you risk that with leverage? As Incredible Crypto noted, love to see things like this because a flush of leverage is always healthy and allows future growth expansion to be more sustainable. Spot on. XRP's strong recovery. Speaking of Incredible Crypto, he also noted this afternoon, XRP making one of the stronger recoveries from this dip. Nice to see. And it's true. XRP is down 4.65% over the last 24 hours, but there are coins down 7%, 8%, 9%, even over 10%. XRP is honestly not looking too bad, all things considered. The analyst predictions keep coming. Here's what I keep seeing from every single analyst I follow. Cantonese Cat, yesterday morning. XRP quarterly 3-month candles are breaking above 786 and 886 log fib resistance levels make all-time highs a very strong possibility, and we are likely on the verge of doing so over the next couple of candles. Ali Martinez this afternoon. If XRP holds above $2.71, buying pressure could build for a rebound to $3.60. Javon Marks this morning. XRP holding above $2.47 means we are still targeting $4.80 and another 66% climb from here, perhaps at minimum. And folks, he's not saying that's where XRP peaks. He thinks this is going into double-digit territory. Chart Nerd this morning. This XRP correction will make the next push-up phase towards $15 on the path to $27. The bottom line. Every single analyst I follow predicted XRP would absolutely rampage this market cycle before it happened in November when it wasn't popular to say that. They were right then, and they're staying bullish now. Dark Defender puts it perfectly. I know there's huge disbelief at the moment, but we will all be surprised. Just remember, the falling wedge will ultimately be broken. Targets at $4.17, $4.92, and $5.85. Greg Crypto reminds us, while the lower timeframes are worth monitoring closely, the higher timeframe trends are still crystal clear. That's the key point I keep highlighting. Big picture, nothing has changed. Final thoughts. People get hit in the feels over short-term price action, but you need to use logic, data, and reason to realize your emotions are counterproductive when it comes to investing. Keep your emotions where they're useful, with love, family, friends. Keep them away from the charts. Everything is going to be just fine, folks, and thanks for watching. Feel free to tell me why I'm wrong in the comments, even though I'm obviously correct. Love you all, and thanks for the support.